All right, Tim, once again, I'm going to shock you with the opener. I am feisty. We're going to hash this out on the air right now. This should be a week of celebration. I am in my last week of my second job in my medical career that I quit that will undoubtedly blow up my professional career. And that's okay. Here's the problem I have. What in the hell are we doing with show topics? I need some answers out of you. We laid out a format. One of the formats was let's review product. 2 weeks ago, I say, hey, let's do product review. Meh, nothing's exciting. Okay, cool. I can get behind that. So then this week, Tim, here's a topic. Crickets. Okay. Tim, here's another topic. Nah, it's not enough. Which I'm fine with. As long as you give me something back. Give me something. How about this instead? How about this instead? Instead, it's just meh. So then our producer says, here's a whole bunch of things you guys talk about. Nothing. What are we doing? All right. Glad we worked that out.
It's an Adam. Oh, it's a 101.
Someone call for a doctor?
Always entertaining, accidentally informative. We are bringing nostalgia and camaraderie to the hobby. That's Tim. I'm Chad. This is Pack to the Future Podcast, Season 2, Episode 23. We have decided, I think, to talk about Threads this episode, the new social media platform.
Yeah, you know, the first topic you presented with me for, 5 days ago?
I almost ran up here and killed you last night. I almost did. We almost got into a fisticuff situation on this show. But I think we're good now. Guys, you can find us everywhere that podcasts can be found, including Apple Podcasts. We encourage everyone to go take a minute, give us a 5-star rating, and leave us a nice little review. But as we mentioned, I think Tim is going to stick with this. I think he's got a lot of good information to tell everyone out there about Threads and its role in the hobby and whether or not it's something, Tim, that you are going to utilize and whether or not I should be utilizing it. So we have that to look forward to. We're going to give a little update on card stories and give you some information about that, which has been very well received so far. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, we have some weekly updates. And I have a question for you about weekly updates. Tim, are you ready to start with weekly updates now?
Yeah.
You ready to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I typically just roll into it because of like the natural flow. I'm already yapping, so I'm like, here's my weekly updates. But I want to start with you, and I have a question. Based on your feistiness of responses about show topics, did you lose units this weekend? Like a large number of units?
No.
Did you lose any units this weekend?
I didn't wager any units.
Look at
That's
you.
2 weeks running, baby.
I even told Sarah, I'm like, I think Tim lost some units this weekend. Like, he's being really feisty about these responses. I don't know what it is. So, hey. I'm glad you didn't lose any units. I'm glad you didn't wait. Did you win any units?
No.
Okay, no wagering of the units.
That's probably why I'm grumpy. I need that endorphin rush. Where'd it go?
I hear you. We're going to get it in 2 weeks. Just bottle it up like a prized fighter before a fight. Just build up all that rage, and then once we get out there, you're going to have casino, you're going to have trade night, you're going to have 600,000 square feet of national. All of it's going to be there for you to go nuts.
Fair enough.
How was your week, though?
It was good. It was very underwhelming. Yeah.
Okay.
But today I got bored enough waiting around for you to get back from your second job that you're about to quit, and bought into a break for Topps Tribute because there's no good products coming out right now that I was interested in. Yeah. I took the White Sox because they've got these pretty cool autograph inserts or parallels, subtypes, whatever, subsets.
Okay.
That I was chasing after. They kind of look like Roman pillars with a player featured and then their auto on the card.
I
vertical.
can picture that. And help me out with Topps Tribute. In my mind, it would be more veteran that you would be going after with White Sox. Is that right? As opposed to any rookies or prospects. That's usually Bowman stuff.
Well, they still have the rookie autos, but nobody chases after them as like a chase rookie card, if that makes sense. I mean, you have your rookie emblems on their cards with autos, but not like I don't know. Nobody's ever going to be like, oh my gosh, I need the Topps Tribute rookie set, you know?
Yeah, I have never heard you say that.
No.
Were you chasing after anyone in particular with the White Sox?
No, just Frank Thomas. So, yeah, I hit a 1-1 in Topps Tribute one time. Not this time.
For the second time this week, I damn near killed you.
No, and you damn near got
I
another.
can feel my face like flushed right now.
No, I think that's just the other subconjunctival hemorrhage that you have in your left eye.
For those of you on YouTube, what are we, 10 days out from this happening? Guys, I turned 40. When you turn 40, things start to go weird.
Yeah. It all
I'm-
goes to.
I blamed it on breaking up a fight with my dogs. I'm pretty sure I sneezed wrong. I'm pretty sure I sneezed wrong. And for those of you on YouTube who can see this, this puppy looks like the devil's eye.
It's not that bad. That's not going to drive views to our YouTube channel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I tried.
We did. Yeah. But I did not get a Topps Tribute Frank Thomas auto.
Nor a
So
101.
No.
I'm sorry.
But that was years past. And then now I'm watching one on eBay. But it's off-centered, so we'll see. Yeah.
All right.
Trying to be good. Trying not to blow all my units before the National.
That's really good, man.
It's really hard.
That's
I had 12 hours today of free time. Do you know how much trouble I normally get
I'm
myself
impressed.
into?
Usually that's a trip to Wendover.
I talked myself out of that.
Look at you.
Talked myself out of going to the card shop because I knew I'd buy
Wow.
something. And then I know it doesn't make for very good content, though.
No, that's great, though. It's going to make for great content, at least for us, at least for you, when we are in Chicago. So I like that a lot.
That's the hope.
I'm glad that you are giving yourself good financial advice because if you recall 2 or 3 episodes ago, you gave me financial advice
I tried.
about selling my cards.
Yep.
Now, those cards ended just a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Guys, if you're not aware of this, the market, it crashed.
It's garbage. Is this where this is going?
Oh, it was bad.
Oh,
I was
no.
hoping, I was saying, you know what, Tim? I'm going to break at least $2,000 with these 6 cards that I sent in.
That's the number I had in my head was like $2,000 to $3,000. You can have some units.
No.
No.
I think I'm going to clear 1,300. 1,300. The Drew Brees, I bought it raw for, I think, $220, $225, or $250, and then I graded it for $75, I think.
Okay.
I will clear exactly what I paid for those 2 things, for the card and the PSA grading.
What?
It makes no sense. Like, there was no
premium.
No premium at
Nothing.
all.
Nobody was looking
The
for it.
Donovan Mitchell, oddly enough, did the best. The 3rd year kaboom. Of course it did, right? Just as I say, I'm like, I'm not going to buy any more Donovan Mitchell. Probably hang on to some stuff, trade the others. Of course that one performed the best. The Russell Wilson Prism Silver. I almost lost. I lost more than $2,500 on that card. Esquire right now is doing a yes chant. I'm certain his shirt got ripped off. His wife's yelling at him. He is just cheering his head off over that loss. 2,500 loss. Just over a year. Yep. Thank you.
That doesn't work over the background music.
No,
but-
I think it was good because, I mean, the background music kind of shows my comedy of errors in this sports card journey of mine.
That's pretty bad. Like percentage of card value wise, that's 80%.
It's bad, man. It's so bad. It is so bad. The Rudy Gobert's actually did okay. Like, I think I got 25% back of what I paid for those, which when that's good, that's just not good at all. So let's put a positive spin on this.
Okay.
Go out and buy some of those cards that you haven't been able to buy in the past. Right? I mean, cards are out there. You can buy them for a premium these days.
Yeah, or a discount.
Or a discount.
Yeah.
I guess a premium to your value, which doesn't really work here. So
Yeah, no, I understood what you were saying.
I appreciate it.
But I have to correct you, so.
Yep. No, I appreciate it. My face is still fuming when I thought you hit a 101 today. So I'm driving back from BFE Northern Utah. Oh, boy. Okay, so I think that's it. No packs for me, no card shop stuff. That's it. Anything
That's
else
it.
for the weekly update? Kind of boring, guys.
Maybe that's why I was grumpy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's have one more boring week,
Okay.
and then we're going to have the week of hype leading up to National. And then we're
Okay.
going to have a great week of National.
That's the hope.
It'll be fantastic. Well, guys, before we get into Threads, that Tim is going to give you all the information you need to know about this new social media platform involving your sports card hobby, let us tell you a couple things about the show and some housekeeping here. Card Stories, very well received. Guys, these episodes, just so it doesn't startle anyone, when we do have a card story, they're going to come out Wednesday. They're going to be titled as someone's card story. So, don't get too overly excited that it's Tim and I. No. But, it's going to be a great story. We've had some great ones, and we've got a few great ones lined up as well.
Yeah. We really just let them speak for themselves. We let you speak for yourself, and it is literally just you. You get the airwaves.
Whatever amount of time you want to spend on these, simply record it. If you've got a great recording device, perfect. If you don't, record it into your phone, shoot it over to packtothefuturepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll feature you on an upcoming episode.
Yeah, and if it really sucks, we'll bury it in season 1 in the archives where all our bad audio episodes were too.
Do you remember some of those early ones? So bad.
I shouldn't be talking. Last week, I kind of sent us back in the past there.
You did send us back to the future, actually, but I don't think anyone noticed it, Tim. You salvaged it very well.
That's all right. Well, we're excited to hear those stories. They've been very well received. They get a lot of listens, and people appreciate it. It's the personal connection. It's all about the people.
I sit back and just smile listening to those.
Yeah. You guys are doing great. So keep sending them in.
One other reminder for everyone out there, please visit our website, pttfpodcast.com, for all of your hobby accessory needs. Those Zion cases are still flying off the shelves, and we appreciate everyone who uses the promo code PACK to receive 10% off their order.
Yeah.
Very handy, especially coming up with National and any of your other card shows, or just storing them. That's where I store all of my slabs. I know that they're going to be safe. If anything happens, I know that they're going to be in good shape. But not only can you find the promo code for Zion cases, we also have our affiliate links, including eBay and Fanatics. Now, Tim, as you have your 12 hours off and are trying to figure out what to do, before you go do your Fanatics shopping, take you 20 seconds tops. PTTFpodcast.com, affiliate link at the top, click on Fanatics, shop as planned, and your guys get a little cut in the process.
Yeah, I think I forgot to do that when I had those Razwin gift cards for Fanatics.
Oh, that's right.
I wonder if you get a little cut of something you're spending when it's Fanatics money too. I don't know.
If we could have a listener try that out and then let us know, we'll let you know if it works.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. All right, guys. So enough housekeeping. Tim, do you have anything else you want to add to that?
I don't think so. Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see what Fanatics does as the hobby really shifts towards them running the show, Oh, man. If I'd been on my game, there was a pretty controversial post by Card Porn this week about Topps, I think it was Bowman, their autos being missing for certain players and certain parallels.
Oh.
Like never surfacing from breaks and stuff. And really astute, eyeballs. I've been watching these breaks and watching eBay, and none of them were surfacing.
It's not my eyeball.
Not your eyeball. But anyway, I'm butchering the story as usual. Apparently the theory is that those blank auto cards never made it to the product or the player to sign, and there's at least one example of a fraudulent auto on the card getting slabbed by one of the grading companies. So there's all sorts of things wrong there. But that was my roundabout way of saying that we'll see how Fanatics does with all of this too, because it's harder than it looks probably. Wow. So
right.
Be careful what we wish for in the hobby, but things are changing. So keep an eye out on what's going to be on Fanatics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting story, and hopefully more to come on that in the future. That's juicy.
It is juicy.
So you don't have to go out and spend units. You got good stories like that.
I know.
That's perfect.
It's like I'm killing time on my phone on Instagram, scrolling through these feeds and these posts. I think that's a good segue into Threads.
I think it's a perfect segue into Threads. Tim, what is Threads?
Threads, for those of you who haven't been amongst the 100 million people who have signed up in the last week, is what they call a text-based public conversation app. Completely based off of Instagram. You have to have an Instagram account to be able to sign up for Threads. But it's Meta, the overarching company for everybody's favorite social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, whatnot.
I don't know.
WhatsApp, sorry. Maybe whatnot someday. I don't know. But there you go. caught me off guard because it really just happened so quickly.
It did.
All of a sudden, it was just like Threads is out. Okay, meh. And then 1 week later, 100 million users.
Right.
That's crazy. It's literally the fastest downloaded and adopted app ever.
And we've seen some of this too. Like it was not honestly on our list of topics as we brainstormed these out weeks in advance. Like I joke and rib Tim about it, but we really do try and brainstorm these things and put a lot of thought into our content. But Tim, I signed us up just because it's so easy to sign up in Instagram. And then we've done nothing. We've done literally nothing. But every day we are just getting multiple people following us just over and over. And I'm like, okay, maybe we need to look into this if people are this active in joining. And that's how this conversation started.
It is. And it caught my attention and it took some convincing, but it was like, okay, after reading up on it, it's hard to ignore how quickly it got adopted. So now, is it worth it? That's the question for the rest of this episode.
It's a good question.
Is it something you should sign up for and use in the hobby? I don't know yet. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a feeling. You can always shoot us a message at Pack to the Future Podcast on Instagram or Threads. But how do you sign up to begin with? So as Chad hinted at, all you have to do is sign up through Instagram. It is literally the only way to sign up too. You can find the app on Apple and Google. Just search for Threads, scroll through the 20 other Threads apps, and if you wanted to avoid that, search for Threads by Meta, and you'll get right to this app. But you have to sign up via Instagram.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will assign you a number, and that's what you'll see under people's profile. I think it's the number of person that has signed up for Threads.
Yep. So you get to keep your Instagram handle if you so choose. You can create a new bio if you so choose, but really it's just like a offshoot of Instagram, except a Twitter clone. There's no other way to describe it except they literally aped most of what Twitter does. It looks like Twitter when you're scrolling through it. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. Like, why do you sign up? I don't know.
I think people definitely have some degree of FOMO, and not necessarily just over Threads, but being a part of the next thing, right? Especially when it comes to the hobby, we all are guilty of that to some aspect. And then we see a new social media platform that's booming, and everyone wants to make sure that if it is going to be hot and something someone uses, that they want to be a part of it as well.
That's true. I think it's amazing how quickly things turn viral or get adopted like this. But I think it's a little perfect storm because Elon Musk, after spending all his hard-earned money on Twitter, has basically just driven it into the ground, which is appalling, I think. Twitter has come a really long way from becoming, for being like that instant news feed, like the local 15-word blurb about what's going on in, current events. And now it's just garbage in the feeds, I feel like. In the hobby, it's really hard to sift through all the noise. I feel like Twitter has lost its identity, and this is where Threads is coming in. Mark Zuckerberg really capitalizing on this negative public sentiment about Twitter and its general direction, and so everybody's looking for an alternative, apparently. I mean, the 100 million people that signed up, I mean, they're speaking volumes, I think, that way.
Well, the opportunity is there.
Yep.
For sure. And Tim, you came up with the fantastic list that you put on our show notes here. Pros and cons of Threads.
Yeah. I mean, the first pro is that it's clean. I'll give it that. You scroll through the feed. There's no ads right now. That's not going to last very long, but it's glorious looking through your feed.
I didn't even notice that.
Not having targeted videos, targeted advertisements, targeted just posts. And
what's on your targeted advertisements? Just out of curiosity, Tim.
Surprisingly.
Can't say that on the air, Tim. All right, fair enough. So no targeted ads. That is a very good thing. People will like that.
I know. I mean, it just, man, it's too good to be true though, because 100% Zuckerberg is going to farm out and market all of our user data for advertisements.
It's already gone.
It's already gone. The second you click sign up, it's in somebody else's hands. They're already like sifting it through an algorithm and figuring out how to part you with all your money. But as far as the hobby goes, it's beautiful being able to see your friends' posts, photos, up to 10 photos per post, and then a much more readable thread.
As I'm in it right now, it gives you suggestions on who to follow.
Uh-huh.
The first 5 so far, everything has been relevant.
Yeah.
Everyone I've had so far. I'm continuing to go. So as if you had an ad from us on Wednesday night, this is live during the show.
Yeah.
Very relevant. And like you said, very clean. Tim, how about the font here? You're the font master.
The font is appropriate. It's not Comic Sans.
How's the font, Tim?
How am I going to break you a Comic Sans?
It's the default on Instagram.
No.
When I'm trying to make our stickers for the national giveaway, I don't care what the font is. I don't care. Damn it.
Everybody message Chad this week and tell him why Comic Sans is the worst font.
Or if you're a normal human being, you don't care. What did you tell me it was? It reminded you of like
my grade school teacher and grandmas everywhere.
What happened to you in grade school with font? Like, is there some trauma here?
No.
When you spaced out like 2 months ago on the episode, is that what you were thinking about? Like, did I handwrite something on those show notes and you're like, I'm going to kill this bastard? Is that what happened? Am I wrong?
You'll never know.
Damn it. All right. I'm sorry. I digress. Okay. So you said that it's clean. You like the font.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about how applicable the mentions are and people that you should follow. You have some downsides listed here, Tim, and these are good. Do you want to run through those?
Yeah. So even though most of the posts seem relevant, you do get suggestions that are beyond just what you sign up for people to follow. It just shows up in your feed eventually once you scroll through it enough. Yeah. Which I get, I mean, that's part of what makes social media so addictive is like that anticipation of, oh, what's that next nugget going to be, right? They have that down to a science. What they don't have on Threads are hashtags. They have all the other reactions, the heart emoji, the retweet basically, or the repost. But no hashtags means you can't plug in like hashtag Frank Thomas and pull up all the Frank Thomas posts. So for hobby purposes, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to sift through all the posts and the noise, trying to find anything that's relevant to you. So that makes it hard. You basically have to know who you want to follow ahead of time, it seems like.
And so based off of that, I think immediately Hugo is out with hashtag content. You're telling me I can't put hashtag content in there?
Nope.
Sorry, Hugo.
I mean, you can, but it'll just go crickets like every time you post it in our group chat.
Oh, that's some sass there, Tim. I do like the videos that can be posted there. You mentioned that videos can be up to 5 minutes long. I do like that. Up to 500 characters a post.
Yeah, no. So kind of like the name says, you can actually have meaningful conversations. I don't want to call them conversations because you actually can't message each other, but you can have more of like a blog-like interaction, I guess. Posts.
And it's smart because it's almost like a text. I mean that. Like they're making it sound sophisticated by saying a meaningful conversation, but it's kind of like what everyone's already doing anyway with their phone, which is just texting people as opposed to calling. So that seems reasonable. It says here, and this could have been because I wrote it, that you can share threads to your Instagram story, essentially getting a 2-for-1 in your time if you're trying to create content.
Yeah, it's confusing now, though, so you can share threads to Instagram. You can share Instagram to Facebook. I don't think you can share Facebook to threads yet, but I have to imagine at some point that all gets integrated. But like this all seems redundant at some point.
Sounds like a wicked love triangle.
Yeah, no, people are clamoring for DMs and the possibility to do that on threads, but you can do that on Instagram, and threads is part of Instagram. So
Well, it's probably wise to not make them all the same, right? Because you don't want to make one of those apps irrelevant.
Right.
For us, it would be nice. It would be nice to have all of those things in one place.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not running these things.
No.
What else do we have here? Can't delete the account without deleting your Instagram account.
Yeah, no regrets, no takebacks. It's like a tattoo, man. Yeah.
That's rough.
That's weird.
That is weird. So I guess then
Zuckerberg.
you just delete your app, but forever you will stay on Threads.
Yeah, unless you delete your Instagram account.
No one's deleting their Instagram account these days.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe.
not going to age well.
No.
2 years
It's
from now.
not
What's
going
an
to.
Instagram?
But speaking of not aging well, that's the fear right now is that, everybody adopted it, but now it's like, what do we do with it? I don't know that they have a clear mission statement for that at the moment, or like what really is going to be different than Twitter. Censorship, I think, is already becoming a concern, just like it was on, or is on Facebook and is on Twitter. There's no such thing as free speech anymore, but as far as the hobby goes, that hopefully doesn't come into play a whole lot. And so hobby-wise, I can see this being useful because it's a little bit more personal, it's a little bit more laid back, it's not so Instagram reel driven. I think Daps last week was talking about most people's Instagram feeds are static pictures of their photos, but that's most of what the Instagram hobby community uses Instagram for is we like sharing pictures of our photos. So Threads allows for that a little bit better, I think. And you get to chat about your cards a little bit better. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe for the hobby, it has its purpose already. I think overarching though, it might not age well because like Google Plus, for example, that disappeared. That came out as a competitor to Facebook.
Right.
Nobody took, any interest in it because they didn't know what it was for, like what? No, just because it exists doesn't mean it's going to be used. And so just because it's adopted doesn't mean it's going to be used either. So we'll see.
Well, we asked our Instagram community what they thought on both Twitter and about Threads. So we've got a couple of results here, Tim. The first question that I asked, do you routinely use Twitter, as this is very similar to Twitter, for hobby content? 77% said no, which I was a little bit surprised at.
Yeah.
I use it a lot, at least for the recent WWE stuff. It seems like that's been popping up on my reels. So 77% no there. Have you signed up for Threads for hobby content? 32% said yes. 66% said no. 2% didn't know what Threads was.
Wow. See? There you go.
Of the two platforms, which do you prefer? What do you think the results were? What do you think people said? Twitter or Threads? So most people don't use Twitter for hobby content. Only 23% do. 32% signed up for Threads. What do people prefer?
The preference still has to be Twitter, right?
Nearly 2-1.
Yeah, because nobody knows what Threads is yet. Like, why go to a place where people aren't posting the content that you're on Instagram for?
And I think that's it. Even though it's new and people are signing up, Tim, when I went through and looked at this, especially after seeing these results, I wasn't in love with it. I mean, I did see a couple of people that I immediately recognized. Card Collector 2 was posting quite a bit. John with Sports Card Nation was posting quite a bit. But other than those two accounts, there wasn't a lot of hobby content there that grabbed me and made me stay on Threads as opposed to shutting it down and going elsewhere.
Yeah. This will be interesting to watch. From a business marketing standpoint, reading up on it, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he's like enthralled by this because I guess the cost of customer acquisition is like not going to be that much compared to the bigger platforms so much. And I guess their follow-through rate is a lot higher than it has been on other platforms. So those ads are coming. And if it's successful that way, this isn't going anywhere. And so it'll be terrifying, but it doesn't mean that people have to like it. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, it certainly is change. Change is inevitable no matter what we're looking into, Tim. And I asked you to come up, with what changes you may want to see in the hobby. I've got a couple of things that I may want to see change-wise in the hobby as well. We also asked our community, and we got a lot of results here, Tim.
Oh, okay.
So what do you want to do first? Do you want to give your thoughts on what changes you would like to see in the hobby, or would you like to hear what Instagram had to say first?
Did these have to be Threads related?
No.
No?
And my tie to this, because it is a little adjacent, was simply change. Is that, this is something new and something that's a change.
I see what you're saying.
Change is ever present in our hobby, right? I mean, obviously with Fanatics, we've got a new messaging board with the hobbyboards.com, which was a new platform, which we haven't really talked a whole lot about. But that's how that tie came into this conversation.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I had nothing Threads related anyway. So
Okay. Well, you still didn't answer my question, so I'm just going to
Yes,
run with it, and
yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, here's what
Let's go for our
Instagram
listeners.
said.
They're far more interesting.
You know, we asked them what they would like to see change-wise in the hobby, and we got quite a few. Sun Devil Collector said less product and less base. No need to pack boxes with cards that go right to landfill. Ooh, that's a show topic.
It is. I mean, it's definitely been a shift, right? I mean, 80s, 90s, you were actually sifting through these cards, maybe flipping them over, reading the content, reading the stats. I got skewered as my first couple group breaks that I hosted. Like, I was flipping some of these cards over that looked interesting to me and reading the backs. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, this player so-and-so did this in like single A. Their favorite, muffin is blueberry or something. I mean,
And of course, you just get destroyed for doing that.
no, because they're like, nobody wants to know about that. Like, nobody wants to know about the base cards. And so, we'd get, you get like really, really, like condensed products, like
right,
tier
and
1
much
and
less
5-star.
available, especially as more and more people come into the hobby, like
Yeah.
Dabs was talking about. So there's a lot to discuss in that one. But I mean, that's what Sun Devil Collector wants. Dan, the itch for cards. I would love to see more technology to bring community together as well as inventory. So technology being the center point there. Threads in particular, to tie this back to that, does bring that technology. I don't know how that brings inventory into it. May need some more insight there. Am I missing it?
Yeah, you'll have to unpack that for us. Yeah.
I like that, the packing theme, because
Yeah.
we're the Pack to the Future podcast.
No, you just murdered it. So
Just making sure I'm on the same page there. East TN Card Collector said more reasonable prices for hobby boxes.
yeah, and I think that's already happening, which is good, but there's room for improvement still. When you're blowing $100 on Donruss baseball, that's still too high.
Yeah, I agree. Deputy Dog, return of pack odds and LeBron Lakers autos. Pack odds I can get behind. I mean, I love me some pack odds. And that-
You do. You love those. I mean, you were guilty of reading the little fine print on hobby boxes and packs for a long
before
time.
I would even open them.
Yeah.
I would be reading that fine print for sure. The LeBron Lakers autos is interesting.
Yeah.
He may not be exclusive with Upper Deck anymore, and we may see these in the near future.
That's going to jack hobby boxes right back up.
So we need to face Deputy Dog off against East TN Card Collector, and you guys can have a fight over which one wins.
Man. LeBron and Wembanyama. I mean, if he pans out, then this is just game over.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wolves Collector NBA, everything going back to game-used relics. Everything.
Impossible ask, but that would be nice.
Again, it comes back a little bit to inventory, like the very first one that we mentioned. Either these are going to be really rare and all game used, or they just can't be game used. All of them can't be game used.
Or how about this revolutionary idea? It's just, how about you don't put relics in the product if you don't have game-used memorabilia to put in the product? Just leave them out. Like, we all know it's a joke at this point. Nobody cares about a relic.
You just exploded my brain with that.
Relic is the new
concept.
base. It's been the base for a long time. Nobody cares. Like, when you hit that in a group break, you don't care. So when you pull it in a card pack, you don't care.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, thank you.
Tasty Card Sandwich, excellent card story this week from Nick. No more exclusive licenses. Sadly, will never happen.
True.
Mostly 90s basketball. Fewer autos, memorabilia cards, more creative designs.
I don't know.
That's another episode too.
I'm
That's
all
entire
for-
episode.
I'm all for creative designs, but that's one of my things that needs to change and needs to go is no more space-themed inserts. Come up with a new idea. No more cosmics, no more galactics, no more whatever, nebulas. Just stop with the UFOs. Where's the X-Files music?
You are going to prove my point right now, and I'm going to pause in silence to see what you say next. You prove my point. You can't crap on things and not give an example of what you want. You just did it. You just did it. So until Tim comes up with a better idea, give me all the space things. Give me UFOs. Give me aliens. Give me lightning bolts. Give me all of it.
Oh, man, I walked right into that one.
You did walk, and I tried to give you some opportunity to change it.
It's more fun just crapping on things. Screw this constructive feedback stuff.
That always has been your thing. So I guess I need to temper my expectations there. So, Tim, that was kind of an adjacent change with Threads. I don't think the connection was as great as I thought it was in my mind, but hopefully that makes some sense why we tied those two things together.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, overall impression with Threads as far as hobby-related content, what are we, 1 week into this? 2 weeks into this, whatever it may be, we did just get 5 new followers with our 0 post just in the last 10 minutes. So with that being said, Tim, are you in on Threads for your hobby experience?
Man, my last post on Instagram was like 3 months ago.
It's been a while for you. I've noticed that.
Yeah. What am I going to use Threads for?
For me, the only thing that would draw me into it is if people who are signing up for it use it. And if I'm seeing their content and I'm gaining a hobby experience and hobby knowledge from it, even though as of right now I don't necessarily like it, I'm not using it. If people continue to do it and everyone gravitates towards it, and that's where we get some of our knowledge and info, I'll use it.
That's fair.
We'll see. I think time's going to tell for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Like, you need people to use it and post to it so there's content. But, like, if nobody uses it, will the users come?
It's a great question. And let's maybe flip this around and ask our listeners. Do you want us to use Threads to post our hobby content, to post, little snippets about our lives, what we're doing outside of here, when we go to the card shop, taking a few photos or taking a video? If you want to see it, I think Tim and I can commit to at least toying around with it if that's something you'd like to see.
Yeah, we'd use it more than our blog. So.
How dare you? That blog is sacred.
Oh, well, everyone, that's Chad. This is Tim, getting the soundboard right this week.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You did it.
I think we were entertaining, too. All right.
You know what we didn't talk about before the show?
What's that?
Our outro.
That's too bad. Want to get back to you in a week?
Sounds good.